This is David Wheaton. The following is a short take from the Christian Worldview radio program. You can hear the full program at thechristianworldview.org. Is it legal for President Trump and the Department of Justice to work to deport someone like Mahmoud Khalil for their viewpoints and some of the things they've done in this country? And is it setting a precedent, Daniel, for when, let's say, the left gets in power? Are they going to be trying to do the same kind of things for those who oppose their worldview?
It's an interesting question, and I think people are right to be concerned anytime the government starts attempting to take action based on the viewpoint or content of somebody's speech. The First Amendment doesn't prohibit that. And so I join in a pause, but I do that for a living. I'm primarily a First Amendment lawyer, and I see that stuff all the time. And I'm a First Amendment absolutist. I think the answer to speech you don't like is more speech. I have no problem with that. It's a little bit different for you and I than it is for somebody who is essentially here on a privileged contract. Of course, every individual in America, particularly citizens, have the right to speak on issues, whether they're popular or not, standing in the streets and sidewalks and say whatever they want to. There's some exceptions. You can't defame people. You can't do some other thing. But if you are a non-citizen and are not born here, have no claim to American citizenship, you have no right to be here. For America to say, okay, well, we will allow you to come here on certain visas, whether it be work visa, student. I think this guy's was a student visa, if I'm not mistaken, when he was originally granted it. Part of the conditions that attach to those, which is why I call it kind of a privileged contract, which is you didn't have a right, but we'll extend you the opportunity to be here to do certain things, but we're only going to allow that if you agree to do X, Y, and Z. And part of that contract is you have to be law-abiding. I think the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, was on one of the Sunday programs or a news channel not long ago, and he said, if you had told us that was your intention when you came here, on filling out the green card application or the student visa application was, oh, I want to come to America because you have a First Amendment right that's going to let me say whatever I want to. And as soon as I get there, I'm going to advocate for terrorist organizations. I'm going to be as anti-Semitic as I can. I'm going to disrupt college campuses. I'm going to go to one of what used to be one of your premier college campuses and set up things that disrupt the entire operation of the university, and you won't be able to do anything about it. The people who reviewed the application never would have allowed him to come here, and nor should they. So if you lie on that and say, well, I want to come and be peaceful and I won't do anything and I just want to go to school and you have these awesome programs that I would like to participate in, he filled all that out and said, I would agree to be law-abiding, disrupting a college campus, occupying it. You remember the old Occupy Wall Street crowd? That's essentially what they're doing on these college campuses, and they're disrupting it. Not only that, they're causing violence, disrupting the classrooms. They're like barging into some of these things and forcing a problem in the learning environment. That's not entirely one, if you want to take it from the constitutional perspective, you're not entitled to say whatever you want to, wherever you want to. There are limits to the First Amendment, one of which is you can't incite people to unlawful or violent action. Advocating for terrorist activities and espousing all of the things that you just talked about, which is to eliminate the West, America, no matter what our particular constitution says or the various laws that we have in place, namely the First Amendment, we're not obligated to grant you permission to come to our country for the sole purpose of espousing the destruction of everything we hold dear. The law doesn't require that, nor should it. The law aims to be eminently practical. And so if you come here lying about what your intentions are, we're not required to keep you here so that you can continue to espouse the destruction of everything we hold dear and cause all manner of problems while you're here doing that. Of course we can revoke the privilege for you to be here. You didn't have a right to it in the first place. And if you don't have a right to it, we can revoke what we granted you out of the goodness of our heart. So the notion that that's somehow a violation of the First Amendment is nonsensical to me, because he didn't have the right to come and reap the benefits of the First Amendment. So it's not saying, well, we're taking it away because you exercised your First Amendment right. You can either say whatever you want to, but you can't actively violate the law and do all manner of things that you said you wouldn't, and then expect to say here and then wrap yourself in the cloak of the First Amendment. It doesn't work that way. I think the government has every right to remove him, and I think they should.
This has been a short take from the Christian Worldview radio program. To hear the full program and connect with this nonprofit radio ministry, go to thechristianworldview.org. I'm David Wheaton.